Hey, what's going on, internet? Josh Noel from SonduckOne. So here I got another gameplay on Aquarium, and this gameplay is pretty interesting because I am playing against pretty good players, and you can see that the game will be pretty much close throughout the entire thing, and the final scoreboard is kind of lopsided, but it's a pretty decent game. And you know what I like to do on Aquarium is to flank the right side of the map, or excuse me, the left side of the map from my perspective, and try to go around and pick up a few people like I just did in this room. And then, I like to work my way back and, try to make sure that my team can kind of get in the center of the map and kind of hold that down. Because if you can hold down the map, the middle of the map on Aquarium, you have a good chance of winning the game, especially on Team Deathmatch. Not for every game mode, but Team Deathmatch especially. If you can hold down the middle of the map on TDM, you give yourself a huge advantage over the other team, because you can basically choose a route to run in and go out in and out of the middle of the map quite quickly. So it's really awesome to have that control. But still, I prefer to control, like I like to flank the sides of the map and try to keep enemies out from going in and out of that area. But I also like the flanks because there's usually there's less action going on, so there's less things to have to worry about. And I let my friend here, Seaman here, kind of go ahead and get shot by that guy, because I knew that there was a guy there, and I let Seaman here go first, so I wouldn't have to be the one to figure out where everyone was at. And that was kind of mean of me, but I've known Seaman here ever since I was like a little kid, so I can do that to him. But anyway, I mean that still technically is a strategy. Not really a nice strategy. I let your teammate go at first, so you can kind of know where people are at. It's kind of mean, but it worked out. I got a kill, and I'm going to be streaking it for this game, because I think I started the game off going like 35-0, and then I finished the game going 47-4. So the last part of this game is very crucial, because basically for me to die 4 times in 12 kills compared to going 35-0, there's a lot of things that we probably need to break down and talk about how that can be prevented. Because usually when you go on a big streak, when you have something going for you, you play very well. You start, like, once you die or whatever, like once you start to run out of gas, pretty much. I mean, how can you keep that going? And how can we prevent that from happening? So I mean, once we get to that point in the video, I'll start to break that down a little bit. But for the most part, I'm continuing to stay to this flank of the map. I basically have my strategy here. I know it's working for me. We're up by about less than 10 points, which is pretty decent for a team deathmatch. But that's basically because I haven't died yet. So basically, it should be up to 10 points, because I'm like, I don't know, like 10-0 or something at this point. But yeah, I mean, back to the flanking here. As you guys can see, I'm continuing to save the deep flanks. And this game was taken a little bit longer ago, like maybe I think 2 or 3 prestiges ago, for me at least. And I definitely play a lot differently now. But going back and checking the center of the map, seeing how it goes, because I know the enemy has the center of the map down now. So what I'm going to do is kind of flank around them, because I know there's probably 1 or 2 of them up in this box right here. And maybe pick off a couple, and then see if I can pick up anyone from the center here. And that didn't really work, but my team is back in the center of the map, and I popped up the combat focus so I can help get my score streaks a little bit faster. And because on TDM, things are usually not always 100% fast, and 2 kills can sometimes take a while to get. So popping the combat focus helps get my score streaks a little bit faster. And then I helped clear out the middle of the map, because I really want my team in the middle of the map, because like I said, I know that if you control the middle of the map on Aquarium, you can do a good job owning this game mode on Aquarium. But basically, I have my score streak Rafe up, and then continuing to flank the map, because it's what's working for me. And I'm not really the type of player that's gonna change so much about what I'm doing if it's working out really well. And I'm not 100% paying attention, because there was a guy behind me trying to chase me. Luckily, my teammate was shooting, and I heard that, because I wasn't looking at the mini map exactly. So you got to be able to listen to what's going on around you as well. Because sometimes you don't always see everything. And I really don't understand some players that listen to music and play the game. I find that so, like, you're totally blocking one of your senses out from playing the game. So being aware, using your listening or hearing and seeing what's going on, and understand that I don't have Turtle Beaches. I just have the regular PlayStation headphones that are like $20, $30. So as long as you have your volume up on your TV enough, you can basically hear just enough to kind of understand what's going on. So that should be just fine. And then once again, I'm continuing to flank the map. And as you see, I'm not going to necessarily push this guy that kind of ran around. He was probably one shot, but like I said, I'm not going to force anything. I mean, we have a decent lead, I mean, by just a few points. And, I want to be able to just control this flank. And, you see, going back and forth here, I was able to pick up a couple of kills right there. And then I'm going to go back and kind of regroup with my team real fast, just because, I don't want to put myself in a situation where I'm going to face 2 or 3 people at the same time. And, even though I did pick up that last double kill, I hate those situations because, a 2v1, you're never really at the advantage. If you're 1v1, you can always put yourself in a better position, but 2v1 is usually not a good situation you want to be in, even though it can be fun to pull off, but it's not necessarily something you want to be in. So sometimes going back to regroup is not a bad idea. And, when I have wraps, the thing is, enemies, yeah, and I died right there, but enemies like to get on top of things, and that's what I was trying to do to get that guy off the center of the map there. But, yeah, see, the thing is with wraps, in my last video, I talked about why wraps were kind of bad. You can basically, I think I'll put a link up in the description for that video, but yeah, wraps can take you out of the game. And then right there, I got double killed because of my teammate Samir, and I guess he was just getting me back for the time I let him die before. But yeah, you don't want to be too close to your teammate. I mean, I was perfectly lined up with my teammate there, and he didn't really get the shot on the enemy first, and we both got lined up and killed. And I mean, I really can't blame that death on losing momentum or anything, just out of pure just not being aware of what's happening. But for the most part, yeah, like the game's already changing around because the wraps kind of messed up the position of enemies, and now I'm not even aiming correctly. As you can see, like that last death was just bad accuracy on my part. I should have killed him, and it's just because I've been taken out of the game because those last 2 deaths, and now it feels like this game is getting harder. And I won't lie, these guys are pretty decent players. They're not bad players. I'm not playing against total, people who just started playing yesterday. I mean, there's probably one person on our team that just started playing yesterday, like this guy I'm about to kill right here. But, what I'm saying? For the most part, the game is still pretty close. I have a huge KDR spread, and we're only up by, I guess, at this point, 11 points. So, it is kind of lopsided a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, for the most part, you got to, I mean, the strategy, the wraps really messed up the strategy for me, and at that point I needed to change what I was doing for sure, because now everyone's playing a little bit differently on the other team, and then I haven't quite adapted to that. But as you see, I'm still flanking the size of the map and going up in the box and then turning around and doing that sort of thing. And I mean, I guess for the most part it's not bad. I mean, I'm still I went down to the middle there, and I'm not paying attention to what's going on. So, really, maybe I should stop using wraps. I don't know, guys. But basically, it's just, you got to be composed of what you're trying to do. And, right now I feel like I'm just chasing red dots on the map to see what's going on. But, I know I'm not going to force anything, because I was forcing things before, and that's why I kind of died. So I was like, I'll just stick to the deep flanks and, take it slow. And then I find this guy who's AFK. So I'm like, all right, whatever, I'll get the final kill cam on him. And then, yeah, 47-4 gameplay. I mean, for the most part, I was forcing things at the end there that I shouldn't have. I mean, I was being too aggressive. And that's usually what happens in these gameplays when I start off having a really high flawless game. And then, I get aggressive, and then I die quite a few times. So, the point is, you can't be aggressive, when the game turns around. But anyway, 47-4 gameplay is a pretty good game. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please drop a like. It helps me out tremendously. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing for more Black Ops 3 videos and tips on how to improve your gameplay. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and hopefully I'll see you soon.